In the dense forests of West Virginia, hidden from the world for over a century, lies the forsaken town of Elmswood. Once a prosperous mining community, Elmswood was home to hundreds of workers and their families. The mine was rich with precious metals, and life thrived around it, from bustling markets to church gatherings and children playing in the streets. But one fateful night in 1883, the town's heart stopped beating. Everyone vanished without a trace. No bodies were found, no signs of struggle, and no one saw it coming. Over time, Elmswood became a ghost story, whispered among nearby villages and passed down from generation to generation. Those who ventured close spoke of a chilling silence that seemed to swallow the sound of their own footsteps. Others claimed to have seen figures standing at the town's entrance, only to vanish as they approached. The place was marked on no map, remembered only by those too curious for their own good. The world moved on, but Elmswood stayed, forgotten and waiting. Fast forward to the present. In the age of social media and online exploration, a group of urban explorers stumble upon an old reference to Elmswood while researching haunted locations for their YouTube channel. Jake, the leader of the group, is a thrill seeker who thrives on pushing boundaries. Maria, his girlfriend, is a skeptic but enjoys the adrenaline rush of their adventures. Alex and Sam, childhood friends and tech wizards, provide the group with the tools they need to document their findings. The discovery of Elmswood is like finding buried treasure, a ghost town that no one has documented for years. Armed with cameras, drones, and survival gear, they set off on a road trip to uncover the truth about the forgotten town. Day 1. The arrival. After hours of navigating backroads and rough terrain, the group arrives at the edge of the forest. The sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the landscape. A sense of unease settles in the pit of Maria's stomach, but she shakes it off. They've explored dozens of ghost towns before, what's one more? The hike to Elmswood is treacherous. The dense forest swallows the path, making it nearly impossible to track their movements. As night falls, they begin to hear strange sounds, whispers carried by the wind, distant footsteps that echo through the trees. Alex jokes that it's probably just animals, but Jake feels something is wrong. When they finally reach the outskirts of Elmswood, the full moon casts an eerie light on the decaying buildings, revealing the crumbling remains of a once thriving town. It feels as though time has stopped here, like the town is frozen in the moment its people disappeared. Day 2. The exploration. In the daylight, Elmswood looks less intimidating but no less strange. There are no signs of wildlife, no birds, no insects, nothing. The silence is deafening. As they begin to explore, they notice peculiar things. A church with its door wide open, chairs in a circle as if a sermon had just ended, houses with food still on the tables, untouched for over a century, and the mine entrance, sealed shut with chains that seem newer than the rest of the town. Alex flies a drone over the area to get a full view of the town. But as the drone hovers over the old mine, the video feed starts to glitch. Suddenly, the drone crashes into the trees without warning. Frustrated, Alex goes to retrieve it, but when he returns, he's pale and shaken. He swears he saw a figure standing at the mine's entrance, but when he called out, it disappeared. Jake brushes it off his stress, but something nags at him. The air feels heavy, oppressive. It's like the town itself is watching them. Night 2. The first encounter. That night, the group sets up camp in the town square, hoping to capture paranormal activity on camera. As midnight approaches, things take a dark turn. Maria, who has been dismissive of the eerie atmosphere, wakes up to the sound of a woman crying. She stumbles out of her tent, and in the distance, near the old church, she sees a shadowy figure. Her heart races as the figure turns and vanishes into thin air. When she tells the others, they chalk it up to lack of sleep. But the activity escalates. Doors slam without cause, cold spots appear in random locations, and strange symbols begin to materialize on the walls of the houses. At one point, Jake's camera catches a fleeting image of a person standing in a window, only to disappear when they approach. The final straw comes when Alex, trying to fix the drone, suddenly screams. The others rush over to find him staring in horror at his laptop. The drone's last recorded footage shows a face, pale, lifeless, and staring directly at the camera from inside the mine. Day 3. The Discovery determined to figure out what's happening, the group decides to explore the mine. They break the chains and venture inside. The air is thick with dust, and the further they go, the more oppressive the feeling becomes. Deep within the mine, they find an underground chamber, and what they discover chills them to the bone. Hundreds of skeletons are arranged in a ritualistic circle, their empty eye sockets staring into the abyss. At the center of the chamber is an altar, covered in strange markings. Jake steps closer and finds a journal, its pages filled with desperate, frantic handwriting. The journal belonged to the town's priest, who wrote of a curse that fell upon Elmswood after they unearthed something evil in the mines. The town had tried to keep the darkness at bay through a series of rituals, but eventually, it claimed them all. The priest's last entry simply read, "We can't leave. It won't let us." As they read, the chamber grows colder, and the walls begin to shake. A low, guttural voice echoes through the mine, whispering, "You shouldn't have come." The final escape panic sets in. The group races back through the tunnels, the air filled with unearthly howls and whispers. As they emerge from the mine, they find the town has changed. The buildings seem newer, the streets alive with people. But these aren't living souls, these are the spirits of the town's former residents, trapped in time, reliving their final moments over and over. The group tries to escape the town, but every path they take leads them back to the center of Elmswood. The town's curse has them in its grip. One by one, they begin to see visions of their own deaths, as the spirits of Elmswood whisper their fate. In the end, only Maria makes it to the edge of the forest. As she stumbles out, exhausted and delirious, she turns back to see Elmswood vanishing behind the trees, as if it never existed. But the whispers of the town still haunt her mind, and she knows deep down that the town isn't done with her. It's only waiting for her to return.